Life moves fast, but here we hit pause. Welcome to Foxtales, a place where chaos fades and stories take over. Join us as we explore books that transport us from fantastical realms, heart pounding mysteries, swoon worthy romance, to stories that make us feel those real life connections. I'm Jess.
And I'm Danny.
It's time to grab your favorite drink, find a quiet spot, let's turn the page and disappear for a while. Answer this one simple question for me.
Let's hear it.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yes. There's no
Elaborate.
pause. I mean, okay, we went to Roswell this
Love
last
it.
year, and we were driving through on our trip to Missouri. On the way back, we went to Roswell, and that museum there. If you have a chance, it's kind of Roswell's a very tiny town, but you have to go check it out. And the more that you read, there's a lot of unexplainable events. And I guess I'm a believer. I have no particular evidence, nothing truly that has made me an alien believer, but I can say I believe in them. Do
I
you?
love it. 100%. 100%. And then I go back to Contact. It's a book and a movie, but it is said, and I'm not quoting it directly, but if there's not anything else out there, that's a huge waste of space.
I mean, we only know really of this galaxy, right? The Milky Way galaxy. We don't
I mean,
have
we know of other galaxies nearby.
correct, but we don't have
Mhm.
a lot of research about things outside of our galaxy. It's limited.
Correct.
So if there's multiple galaxies just hanging out there, why couldn't there be other life form? What if there's a whole nother planet with humans just like us asking about aliens, but we're the aliens to them?
Exactly, and going back to the book, Contact is a great book and movie, so just a plug there, they're both great.
Is it
But
scary? Because you know how I feel about
no,
that.
no, not at all. It's not scary at all, you should see it. It's a great movie, but she talks about, like, we have 1 star with orbits that or planets that orbit it. One of those has intelligent life. So, like,
Mm,
even in our small galaxy, and we can't even know more in our galaxy. We know there's other stars out there. We know that those other stars have planets. But what if those, even if it's a small, minute amount, had intelligent life? Think of how many life forms could be in the entire universe. It's crazy.
I mean, obviously a lot, but it also, as intriguing as it is, it also freaks me out at the same time. I, for the first time, convinced my husband to watch Signs maybe this was maybe max 2 years ago. He had never seen it, which is
Okay.
which is weird to me because I don't like scary movies, but
Not
and
scary.
he doesn't either. It's not scary, but for us, when the little hand goes underneath the door, like I definitely got a jump out of him, but thankfully I had watched it before and I was prepared. But that's probably the only alien movie I can think of besides
Girl,
Predator,
like, because of Our Father, you have seen
Yes,
Predator.
yes.
Alien itself is fabulous. You have to see Alien. It's
Okay,
not okay, it's jump scary. If you can handle Signs, you can handle Alien. It's just a little bit more scary Alien.
I'm gonna trust you on this, and if I have nightmares, I'm gonna be the one calling you in the middle of the night. Do you think people on Earth have truly encountered aliens walking around?
I don't know. I think we want to believe that.
Mhm.
Now, if you define alien, getting like super, not super sciencey, but a little sciencey here, right? Alien doesn't have to necessarily mean an intelligent life form. It could mean
Okay.
a living substance. It could mean something like that. So in that case, it's quite possible.
Like amoeba.
Exactly. Exactly. Something that's living that is not of Earth.
Of
But
human?
as far as an intelligent life form, I don't know. Yes, I believe they're out there. Do I think we've had contact with it? I don't know.
I'm gonna pay a quick tribute to the late Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is the reason why aliens are too scared to show themselves.
Oh, shut
Be
up.
prepared, world. First things first, we would like to formally introduce ourselves as your host. I'm Danny, and me and Jess are sisters. We both love to read, and we wanted to start a podcast for those of you who also love to read. Originally, we had started a book club that centered mostly, well, I would say solely around romance novels. And then we found out that while we loved romance, we wanted to expand our horizons and venture into all genres and, kind of get out of the rhythm of things and break it up. So, this book that we're doing today, it's completely new genre for me.
Yes, for you. I love the sci-fi world, and so I was the one, I will take credit for it, to suggest this book, but I am a huge Michael Crichton fan, and adding on to that, Andy Weir also kind of builds that science-y realm, so I'm super excited that we read this book first.
I I'm very happy with the choice. I will say I was very nervous at first because when I was first, I'll admit, I did an audio version because I knew I'd find myself struggling if I didn't.
Mhm.
So I I did the audio version of it, and I'm very happy that I did. I loved it. It helped me get past some hurdles that I would have had reading it. And I was even more excited because it's a movie that's out now. So I'm sure you all can guess it. We are going to be covering Project Hail Mary.
Yes. So
Yes, and
excited.
it was just released this weekend. Have you seen it yet?
I have not. I probably won't see
Okay.
it till maybe next weekend.
Okay, fair enough. I'm convincing my husband to go and watch it with me, and I think I almost have him convinced. We don't do well when it's long movies because I'm too antsy,
Yes.
but since I've invested time into actually listening to this on audio, I really want to go see it.
Just tell him it's by the same author that did The Martian, and I know he loves The Martian,
Yes,
so just tell him that and maybe that'll convince him.
that's true. I gotta lure him in a different way. We thought it would be really cool to do a one-off series on this book. Although there's a lot that happens, it can be condensed, we feel, into one episode. Now, unlike the book club style of our future episodes, where we kind of break things up by chapter sections, we're going to be recapping the entirety of this book. And this book just so happens to be a very challenging book recap because of all the scientific terms. So don't hate us for glazing over any details, but we're going to do our best to go over everything in just one episode and try to
We
keep
can
it condensed.
we can do this.
I
We
think
can do
so.
this.
I think so.
Yes. Welcome to Project Hail Mary. Okay, so this is your one and only disclaimer. We are going to reveal the ending of this book. Not yet, but we will in this episode. So if you are dropping in just because you watched the movie, welcome. If you've read the whole book and need a refresher, we're here for you too. But if you have not seen the movie and are in the middle of a book, maybe it's time to turn us off and check back in with us after you've finished, unless you're one for spoilers. That's up to you. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our main character, Ryland Grace.
So Ron Grace is woken by a robot in a place that he does not recognize. In fact, he doesn't even remember his own name. What he does realize is the obvious, which is he is in a spacecraft and his crew members have not survived.
Can you imagine just like you wake up and around you is completely new environment and dead people?
No, absolutely not.
It's terrifying.
I'd be so freaked out. I don't do sleeping well alone in my own home, let alone waking up in a spacecraft floating. And I just, all the bad anxieties come to me when I think of this.
It's like a nightmare. Like wake up and I'm in a nightmare, so I think you're thinking, is this real? Is this not
Yes.
real? What is going on?
What's the reality here?
Right.
The problem is Ryland's memory is put to the test immediately when he wakes up, and
Mhm.
he has to answer a series of questions in order to bypass this overseen robot in this room that he's in. And after many failed attempts and some flashbacks, we learned that Ryland was a school teacher who had found himself on a spacecraft called Hail Mary. And he was coaxed by a rather intimidating government official named Eva.
Eva Strat.
That's right.
She is a creature in herself.
I love her.
And
She's very strong willed, and I appreciate her attitude throughout the book.
what I love is I also listened to this on audio because I was traveling, moving across state lines. So I had a very long road trip. And so I decided to play it. But I love the audio version of this.
Oh,
That
yes.
I think the narrator did a fabulous job really embodying every character. And I
Yes.
love the Eva Strat character.
I could not agree more. Eva Strat's voice is fabulous.
So we learned that Eva worked with multinational organizations to help create a team that would be sent to space to find a remedy to a microorganism, which Rylan Grace named astrophage. An astrophage isn't just some random meteor headed towards Earth. It is I would say, living alien creature that is taking over our sun.
Oh, yes. And, thank God it's not a meteor because I automatically thought of Armageddon when I think of this.
I just read my notes and I put meteor, but we know that meteors are not the same as asteroids. I'm sorry to get a little too sciencey on you, and I know you wrote that. So I just want to make it clear that I just understand the difference between a meteor and an asteroid.
That's really funny. You're absolutely right. Well, whatever. Something falling from space towards Earth is scary enough. Asteroid, meteor, I don't care. Don't want it.
Don't want astrophage either because it
No.
is slowly draining the luminosity and energy from our sun. That's going to eventually lead to an ice age. And coming from a science teacher, I teach my kids, if Earth tilted or moved just a little bit further away from the sun, that, life on Earth as we know it would not be the same. So this part is actually quite terrifying to think that what is necessary for Earth to survive is slowly diminishing.
Sounds very promising.
Totally.
Ryland's journey in space is to a star system called Tau Ceti. And once he arrives, he realizes that he is indeed not alone. Is it humans? Are aliens real? This is all questions that Ryland has as he's figuring out this life form that he has seen. But being the genius that Ryland is, he starts communication with this unknown vessel that he sees also flying in space, which we call Blip A. Through the communication process, he finds out that the life form he sees is indeed not human, but another species from the 40 Eridani system, now named Arid. And after some precarious attempts, he is able to meet the Iridian aboard Blip A, and his name is Rocky.
I love
Me
Rocky.
too. I want him as a
He's
pet.
okay. Rocky is not a pet.
It's not. It's not, but he just sounds so cute and like I want him. So Rocky and Grace are able to soon realize that they are from two very, very different planets, comprised of very different materials. As expected, Rocky and Ryland do not speak the same language, so they are forced to learn how to communicate with each other by overcoming a massive language barrier. Rocky is a very different creature that is described to look, I guess, like a spider. That's kind of what I got from it. And
He
I
has
think they,
multiple arms.
yeah. And I think even in the book, Ryland describes him as looking the best, I guess the best description he had was like a spider.
Mm, okay.
And Rocky repeats things in triplicate when he is either very excited or upset, which I have also taken into my own vernacular for everyday use. The other day, I made a joke about something with Jeff, and I said, bad, bad, bad. And he didn't get it. And I was like, "Oh, why doesn't he get what I'm saying?" And of course, because he hasn't read the book. And I immediately thought, I need to text Jess and say something with bad, bad, bad in it.
Yes, I will understand. I think it's really interesting how Rocky communicates because it's by sound frequency
Mm,
and how thinking of communicating with a piano, right?
mm.
And so I'm using words, the piano's using notes, and somehow Grace figures out how to break this language barrier with his own little translation system.
Which is, so he's not just a teacher or scientist smart enough at this point that we know that it's been sent into space to combat astrophage, but he also is able to do some sort of programming in order to decode a language.
We learn from the flashbacks that Grace is really smart and
Yes.
he has a very strong history in science.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think is interesting about this is that he, I think, had a certain career path that he had planned, and the science world was not ready for him. And so, in my mind, as a teacher, he was like, okay, the world right now is not ready, but I can instill this curiosity in kids so that the world can be ready.
Yes, I'm not a teacher, but I guess I agree with that. I have no reason not to.
And I think Eva Stratt recognized that, and I mean, she chose him because of the chances he was willing to take in science. He was
And
risky.
and also he wasn't afraid of some absurd backlash. He was already kind of out there. So what
Right.
was going to happen to him now? He was already the weirdo of science.
Right. And so we're learning through the series of flashbacks how smart he is. Obviously, he's communicating with an alien right now.
Right. And we also discover that Rocky's planet, Arid, is in grave danger due to the astrophage, just like Earth is. So they've learned to communicate, and now they're learning that they're both there to save their planets. We also learned that Rocky is the only survivor on his ship. And like Ryland and his crew was sent to do this mission to rid of astrophage. So Rocky has some very special skills and is very inventive. He can build literally almost anything and is
Mhm.
extremely good at math. He is responsible actually for most of the devices used to protect himself and Grace as they do a series of experiments to find a solution to astrophage.
So, I mean, Ryland is really lucky that he ran into this resourceful alien and not one that's going to consume him for dinner. Kind of reliving the Alien movie right now. I'm not going to give you spoilers, but I will say that those aliens are not welcoming and
To other life forms.
correct.
So then why am I watching this? You told me it wasn't scary.
It is a classic movie. I just watched something on movies that actors were just, like, exceptional in, and one of them was Sigourney Weaver for Alien. Like, there's a reason
Okay.
for it. It is a
Well,
great movie.
okay, well, I'm going to put a lot of faith in you because I'm not really interested in seeing aliens eat humans. That's we'll just add to the list of fears of mine,
Aliens, that's very realistic fear.
right?
In your lifetime, it's gonna happen.
Anyway, flashing back in time, we realize that due to astrophage, the population of Earth will exponentially decrease. So their time to create a ship that launches into space is limited, and the person in charge, who we've learned is Strat, has very specific plans and expectations. Now, back to Rocky and Grace. They both find a planet that hosts and consumes astrophage whilst on their journey in space, something that they will need a lot of for both of their planets. So Grace lets Rocky name his new planet, which he names Adrian. And if you don't love Rocky already, you should like him even more because Adrian is named after his mate
It's
back home.
so cute.
If Jeff said, I'm going to name a planet Danny, I'd be like, "Ugh, that's lame. Like, you couldn't think of something better."
That's what I would be. I'd be like, "Oh, barf.
Yeah,
Seriously? You named it after me? You
that's
couldn't think
true.
of something a little bit more creative."
Right, right. That's all you had, huh? However, as they're leaving Adrian, they encounter a small ship issue, and this ship issue leads to Rocky and Grace saving each other and developing a much deeper friendship than what they already had.
Yes, I love seeing this friendship build and the risks that they're willing to take with each other, for each other. You can tell that they're both here for a reason. And while they both have the main goal of saving their planets, they are also developing this friendship, which is the cutest thing in the entire world. In this journey, we see that both Grace and Rocky encountered few little challenges, and they both need time to heal from their near death experience leaving Adrian. But through the healing process, they figure out the solution. Their experiments lead them to discover that breeding Talmiba, now, this is the reason that they're there, is to figure out why this one star is alive and all the other stars around it are dying? Well, the answer is on Adrian, and it is Talmiba. And this is the solution that's going to destroy the astrophage, which is thus destroying Earth. They get very sciencey here, and while I love science, it's best just to know that they figured it out. We breed Talmiba, it destroys astrophage, death equals saving Earth and saving Arid. So it's around this time that we also get a flashback realizing that Grace didn't choose to become a hero and save Earth. So we see him in this time and all the efforts that he's making, taking steps to save Earth. But this isn't a choice that he actually made. Did he want to help Earth? Yes. Was he eager to use his science knowledge? Absolutely. But the choice to go on the Hail Mary was never his. It was Eva Stratt's decision, and she made sure that he was on that ship no matter what.
Okay, I have to tell you, after finding out that he didn't voluntarily go, I wasn't upset. I thought, putting myself in his shoes, which I never would be because I'm the furthest thing from a science brain,
This is
but
true.
I I just confuse asteroid and meteor, so clearly this is not me. But I I think that if I was him, I would be extremely reluctant to go. He's not an astronaut. He's a teacher, and being forced to go on a ship and save Earth is a lot of responsibility. Even if you were the only person left, I don't know that I would want to go on that journey. That's just a lot of pressure because you don't know who else is going to survive. And look at him, he's alone talking to an alien.
I agree, and I'm really conflicted here because I agree with his hesitation. I understand his perspective and the fact that no matter what, in his brain, he's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And does he want to die on Earth with people that he knows and loves around him doing something that he likes? That's what I would want. Like, I know that
Yeah.
I'm dying. I know that the Earth is dying. I want to be with my family. I want to be with my dog.
Mhm.
I want to eat lots of chocolate cake and macaroni and cheese because I know that, like, not, I'm going to die anyway. But at the same time, can you save this all from happening? Or is it just a death mission? It's really conflicting, but I really hated Eva Stratt's the way that she presented the situation. She didn't give him another choice.
I could see that, but also I respected her for it because Strat had a job. Her one job was to create a team to go and save Earth, send them to space and save Earth. That was her one and only job. And when you're that high up in government, and when you're reading the book, like I said, we skip over a lot of details. Strat has a lot of pull with government officials, and
Yes.
she clearly was the woman for this job, which also I love that she's a woman. I'm
Mhm.
just throwing that in there.
Go
But
girl.
she's a woman for the job. And she had to do what she had to do to make sure that Earth and Earth's future was safe. And she did that. And
True.
Ryland is the perfect person for the mission because he's so well rounded. He's kind of been groomed on this whole subject. He has certain physical qualities that make him the perfect candidate. And As mad as that you would think that you could be at Strat, I think she did the right thing.
True, she's able to separate emotion from
Yes.
necessity,
Yes.
and I get that. I don't think a lot of us have that skill
Mm-mm.
because my human nature, as much as people annoy me, would really want to be sensitive to what they want as their last wishes on earth.
Okay, that's fair. And today I learned something new about you. Your last meal will be macaroni, cheese, and chocolate cake if I have any say so in it.
That's correct.
So Rocky and Grace's last and final mission is to take the Talmiba back to their respective planets and save them. Sounds easy enough. They once again use their brilliant minds to find a solution. Now, here comes the heart wrenching climax of the story. Rocky and Grace realize that their time together has come to an end and they must part ways.
My heart was breaking.
I it was rough. It was rough listening to this part. And
Mhm.
I'm such a dork. Like I can't listen to books or read them sometimes when I'm like at work or in public when I know it's getting to a part like this because I don't want somebody to walk in and like see me crying. Like, what's wrong with that girl? I just like have a book in front of me.
Crying. Nerd.
It wasn't that far. It wasn't that emotional, but it's still very heartbreaking. And as a parting grift, what is that? As a parting gift, Grace gives Rocky a laptop, which I mean is pretty intriguing because apparently that's the most amazing thing he had to offer a different life form is a laptop.
That really was interesting because Rocky has so much to bring to the table
He
and
does.
all of his intelligence and the intelligence of his entire species. And Ryland's like, well, I have this laptop that you can have.
I think that's the only thing smart enough to communicate with Rocky. If he gave him something else, it wouldn't really do anything. Rocky's so smart. So I think the computer was on par with Rocky's intelligence, and Rylan knew he was going to be able to figure it out. He didn't have any worry about that.
Yeah,
But anyway, they planned their routes and to return to their respective planets.
they do. Grace and Rocky say their final goodbyes and they prepare their ships to return home.
Woohoo!
Everything's, we went through a lot. We are ready to go back and save our respective planets. At this point, Grace is ecstatic at the thought of returning home because this mission was intended to be a suicide mission. He had no plan or no thoughts that he would make it back home ever. And between Rocky and their discoveries, through experimentation, Grace was going to be able to return home and not just return home with a solution to save the sun.
Talk about
And
coming back a hero.
yes. And I don't think like the hero bells or the hero welcome is really something that he's expecting. I think he just wants to go back home and be
Mm-hmm.
home.
Yeah.
And he's like realizing like I actually it's actually a possibility. And at the end of this tear-jerking chapter, Rocky and Grace are now floating alone back to the planets that they call home.
I can't imagine separating from my only friend that I've had for, I don't really know the duration of time at this point, but it's been a while. This isn't an overnight thing. They've spent a lot of time together and just seeing your only friendship just float away, hoping that they get there. That'd be really difficult. But Grace realizes that in case he doesn't make it back home, which is a possibility, this is
Mhm.
space, that he needs to prepare the Beatles. And in case you don't love this story enough, the Beatles are named after none other than, you guessed it, the Beatles. John, Paul, George, and Ringo. These Beatles are small spacecrafts designed to carry information back to Earth. But oh no, things can't go smoothly. The Beatles have been infected. They've
They
been, you know, I guess you would call it Yoko Ono'd by
That's
the
right.
Tommy boat.
Yep. Yep.
And in the words of Rocky, bad, bad, bad. Good news is that epoxy and plastic are excellent barriers. So Grace and Earth will be okay. You know, good old plastic, that forever material that is designed to both destroy and save Earth. However, Rocky's ship is made of xenonite. And to put things simply, he is doomed.
He is doomed. It's so sad. I thought it was really interesting that, plastic, the thing that is a forever material, and it is the thing that is saving us. It just hurts my brain. I
Have
don't
you
know.
watched that new show on I think it's on Netflix about plastic? It's I can't remember the name of it, but oh, I'll have to get that for you, and we're definitely going to have to maybe do a little quick recap on that because it's been getting some big attention. So I imagine you would probably really enjoy it.
Well, it's been getting attention for a while. That's why, grocery stores have started to ban plastic bags around the country. Plastic straws n- have been banned, but have they? I mean, it depends on where you are in the country as to where it has been banned. But plastic is in fact invading our earth, and it does not decompose. Sorry. Back to Rylan and Rocky.
Yeah, that could have been another 2 hour speech for you.
I stopped myself.
Good. They don't want to hear it. Now,
So
oh, go ahead. You go ahead, please.
Okay. Grace has to make a decision. And is it a difficult decision? I honestly don't think so, because he can go to Earth as a hero and live his life, or he can send the Beatles back to Earth and save Rocky, which would in return be a suicide mission for him. It is a hard decision because he had some hope at life, but at the same time, it's conflicting because he has a chance to save Rocky.
His one and only friend.
Yes.
At this point, life on Earth has moved on, and I feel like his dedication to Rocky overshadows maybe any relationship he might have been able to return to. Who we have no idea the state of Earth at this point, what Astrophage has done, and
Right.
so he might be going back to craziness. So I guess I might be with him at this point and just be like, well, I was gonna die anyway, might as well go hang out with Rocky.
That's what I'm thinking. Is I'm thinking of this doomsday mentality that is on Earth, because at this point we know he's been up in space for years. So who knows? People on Earth for sure know that the sun is dying. They probably know that there has been a spaceship launched to try to save it. But I'm sure if I was on Earth and I was reading about this or watching it on the news, I'd be like, well, I'm just gonna live my life here,
Mhm.
and it could be crazy here on Earth.
We know at this point that Grace chooses to launch the Beatles and find his friend in the vast dark world we call space. So the Beatles make their merry way, and Grace goes and tries to track Rocky. Now, through very advanced measures, Rocky appears in Hail Mary's radar, and Grace is able to not only save Rocky, but Rocky is kind of able to save him in return.
Yes, and so we learn in this time, though, when he gets there, that while he was able to save Rocky, the Beatles are on their way back to Earth. Ryland himself is not made of the same material that Rocky's made. So any food that Rocky has, it's not made for humans. So while the excitement is there that he was able to save Rocky, that he's able to save Earth, what about Rylan?
I Rocky, I think, is both so grateful for the decision because he knows that uh, he was not going to make it back to his planet. But he knew that Ryland sacrificed himself to save Arid and Rocky. So through this whole thing, Ryland saved Earth by sending the Beatles back and going towards Rocky and now attempting to save Arid.
As you said, Iridians are very smart. Not just Rocky, his entire species. So while we may have that concern for Rylan, don't worry. Rocky's able to bring Rylan back to his planet, and his friends are very smart and very resourceful. and they find a way to keep Grace alive.
This is where Rocky flails his arms. If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. Flailing arms,
Yes,
Rocky's moving, celebrating.
super excited. Iridians have also discovered that the sun has returned to its original shine and planet Earth was saved through the beetles.
Yay!
And we see that Grace finds himself calling Arid home and continues to live life doing the one thing he loves, and that's teaching. And he's teaching the little tiny Rockies.
I bet they're
Can you
adorable.
imagine little tiny ones of them?
No, and they all have like their little language. So at this point, he must be fluent if he's teaching them.
For sure.
He's just, picked it up on the side.
He's living his life doing what he loves with his BFF.
Oh, isn't that adorable? It couldn't have been a better ending. I think it was good. Although it's sad that we know that Ryland is most likely not returning to Earth ever, but he chooses just to live this life with the Iridians and his best friend, and he's accepted it and he's okay with it. As we come to an end here, I kind of just want to circle back to what we had talked about earlier, and that is the audio versus book version of Project Hail Mary. I don't think I would have been able to get through this book reading it. I would say on level of difficulty, maybe 8, 9 out of 10, just because of the scientific terms and following along with everything. So for me, definitely worth the Audible version.
Yes, and something I learned because it did get super sciencey in some parts is that you can actually speed up the rate of reading so that you can from like 1.0 to like 1.5. So I would speed it up and then slow it back down back when I, got to the Rocky and Ryland parts.
I feel really upset that you're just now telling me this, and I've invested 16 hours of just regular audio version without slowing it down. So I'm just gonna walk away from that real quick. I also want to do a quick plug for something I have strong opinions about, and that is I absolutely loathe when a book cover has been turned into the movie cover. I guess that's the right word for it.
Whoa.
I loathe that. Please stop. It really kills the imagery for me.
I agree. And I think it's because in our minds when we read, I know me and you are very similar. We create this world based on what the book is saying. And the moment that they put something different on the cover, it is really upsetting.
Yes.
And if I'm getting a book before a movie comes out and I see that the cover is on there, I will go out of my way to buy a book with the original cover.
I support this 100%. So I hope all of you editors are listening because we hate it. Us book lovers hate it. I mean, you can let us know, people in the comments, if you actually like it, but for us, it's a no-go.
Hate, hate, hate. I'm also really extremely critical with books that are turned into movies. And it, in my mind, should play out in exactly, the way that I think is correct, because, I'm totally qualified to do that. But I think that The Martian was done really well. And I read the book and then watched the movie. And I think they did a really fabulous job. I also think that Matt Damon was the perfect character for that. And I really hope that this movie follows that. I know it's a different director, but I'm going to be upset if they ruin this book because it was so fabulous. And can I say something else that I'm upset about?
Go ahead.
While I'm on it, is that I'm really upset that they revealed Rocky in the movie trailer.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. But I will say this, that I think that Ryan Gosling being casted as Ryland Grace was a very good pick. Not
I
just
think
because we
so.
all love Ryland Gosling, but Ryland Gosling. See what I did
So you
there?
already did it. You're
Do you
already
see what
like,
I did?
perfect. I did.
But I think he will be perfect for the role. I haven't seen, but we can, review this after we both go and watch it because it's going to happen.
100%. And something that we're also going to be doing in our book club is a song of the episode. And for me, it is Sign of the Times by Harry Styles.
It would be. I,
I
I
love
can
Harry.
honestly say I haven't listened to this yet because I'm not as big of a Harry Styles fan as you are. And I don't know when this came out, but I'll go listen to it.
I sent it to you.
Oh, well, I probably ignored it.
I actually did learn something when I sent it to you, though. All this work that I do to say, okay, this song is great for this episode, and you don't even listen to it. It's really frustrating. But
You're not frustrated.
in doing that, I actually learned that the Sign of the Times is in the movie soundtrack.
Is it really?
Yep.
So
And
you picked
this,
out a song that you thought would be good, and it just so happens to be in the movie.
okay, while reading the book, which was before the movie came out, I thought this was a good song.
I don't believe you.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Just kidding. Okay, I'll listen to it. I promise. Today, that's my homework. While we're talking about our book club, I would like to introduce the next book that we'll be doing. But this next time, or this next book that we do, we'll break it up into chapter sections so you can follow along with us and we can be surprised together, which is a little bit more fun than a total reveal. It's been on the to be read for a while list, and I haven't picked it up because I've never really been into this genre, which is fantasy. And I don't think you have really ventured into fantasy either.
I haven't. And the reason why is fantasy is really hard because you have to not only learn the characters of the book, but in the entire world that they live in as well. So it is challenging to read fantasy. But I'm excited to give this one a chance.
So, Fourth Wing, everybody, go buy it if you haven't, so you can join us in our book club. And we're going to break it up into 5 segments. I think we figured out that that was best. And our first episode will be on chapters 1 through 11. So, the next time you join us, make sure that you've read chapters 1 through 11 of The Fourth Wing.
I'm excited. It's going to be a fun journey.
Me too. I can't wait.
As we close today's chapter, remember this. Whether you are escaping for comfort, courage, or just a little quiet, books are always waiting for us. So until next time, keep turning those pages. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, all the things. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm Jess.
And I'm Danny.
And this is Foxtales.